car and roll right into the highway. Brian is right to give me a text.
Good morning. It's 9 o'clock, we're going to call the meeting to order. I guess y'all gonna force me to get the cat.
I got it up in the office.
Good morning.
I got one from the PNC.
Hello, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Thank you, thank you. Good job.
Good job.
Let's call the meeting to order. Today is Tuesday. We're here for our regular monthly council meeting. We're going to stand for an invocation followed by the pledge of allegiance. Yep, I will do that after this. I'll remember that.
Lord, thank you for your blessings, and thank you for this beautiful city and this beautiful country and this nation you've blessed. Just ask you to be with us today. Ask you to guide our thoughts, our decisions, and be with us in all we do, and we acknowledge you as our Lord and Savior. In Christ's name, Father. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Before we start, I want to recognize some of you may have heard about our Methodist minister who passed away last week. Jerry Alzheimer was a long time at the local Methodist church. Had gone through some illness, and he passed away, I believe it was last weekend.
Saturday night.
Saturday night, okay. Remember him and his family. All right, call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Here.
Mr. Pollock?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Wolf?
Here.
Mr. Wettley?
Here.
Thank you. Citizens' comments?
No, you don't like seeing me. Tim King, Kathy Lane, off Fifth Street. I just want to talk, and I talk about this quite often, is discrimination, because that's the thing that irritates me the most. And it happens in this town. On 2 occasions now, I've caught a city councilman trespassing on private property, and in one case, actually damaged the property, which the city had to go back and repair it again at a cost to the city. The other case, the first case, he brought along the city attorney. Now you'd think maybe a city councilman may not understand the law, but a lawyer, come on, I mean, that's ridiculous. And then he had the nerve to threaten me bodily. That's okay, that's my word against his word, and that's fine. Except that in one day, I found 6 individuals from this town that Mr. Smith has threatened, either bodily or another way. And guess what? Most of them are business owners here. So now, to show the discrimination, the lot right behind me on 5th Street, 404 5th Street, a permit was issued on December 2021. Started work on there. Bunch of Spanish guys, bunch of them. Music blasting. I mean, it just, it was crazy. And then they had no dumpster and no porta-john on that job site since then. They just recently put it in because we called and complained finally. I mean, why is it that some builders don't have to do things? I heard a rumor like, oh, well, the builder's having a problem. I don't care. You can pick up the phone, make a call, have things delivered. But I had a pile of trash behind my house so big, and I had rats, possums, all kinds of animals running in and out of there. It's not from being noticed, because like Mr. Smith, he goes up and down 5th Street all the time. And I see the code enforcement officer up and down there all the time. But they didn't do nothing. I don't understand that. I just really don't. And I'm not happy, but as far as threats to citizens and business owners in this, that's being taken care of. Thank you.
I sure would like to tell him something.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Good.
Is there other citizens' comments that have something to do with business? Yes, sir. Hey, Dan.
Oh,
Oh, no.
he must want something.
Yeah, no, I've already got it. Hey, my name's Denny Hughes, I live at 500 Georgia Avenue. I'm not here to complain about anything. I'm here to thank the city council, the administrator, Tommy.
Excuse me just a second, Danny. Listen, when we're speaking, let's please be respectful of who's speaking.
I might have to
Don't
start all
comment from
over
the back. You, if you have to, fine, but that's
No,
ridiculous.
but I want to thank you. I know at this time of year, you catch a lot of hell, you don't do things right, apparently by some of the letters I've read, but I think you're doing a heck of a good job. I wanted to thank you for the new pickleball courts. I think they're beautiful. The bad thing about thanking you is I missed somebody, and I'm sorry if I did, but I appreciate everything the city has did for the pickleball people. Thank you. And here's some cupcakes. I didn't make them, so you're
All
safe.
right. Any other citizens' comments? Okay.
Guess we can share those later now.
There you go. No, you won't.
Good luck.
All right, we're gonna move to our consent agenda. We have one set of minutes.
You want to speak up, Mr. Smith?
I'm sorry,
Wait,
somebody
wait.
talking to me? Somebody talking to me? My name's Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
No, ma'am, I
You
wasn't
wanna
talking to
speak
you,
up?
Miss Miller. I wasn't talking to you. I was discussing Mr. Ives just a minute.
Well, this is
Wait,
public.
wait,
meeting,
wait,
so
listen,
talk
hold
out
it,
loud.
you're out of order, you're out of order. Hold it.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any additions or corrections? Let the record show, motion passes 5-0. Okay. On our regular agenda, number 1 is the employee of the month.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, council members. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We continue to recognize our employees that are doing a great job here in Mexico Beach for not only us here at the table, but all the residents in Mexico Beach, and we're very proud of them. So today, with me, I have Tommy Davis, who I'd like to call up to introduce the employee of the month from one of his departments that he manages. And we have an award for him.
Good morning, council.
Good morning.
Everybody. This morning I had the pleasure of presenting the Employee of the Month award to Mark Presnell. A lot of you probably see Mark. He's one of the sanitation drivers out here, and I'm always excited to be able to give this to one of my sanitation guys. These are the hardest working people probably in Mexico Beach. Day in, day out, whether it's raining, whether it's storming, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, these guys are out on that truck and they do a wonderful job. And Mark, I have the pleasure of presenting you with your Employee of the Month plaque. Also, here's a pen from the city administrator, and probably one of the most important things, I have a full day off. So, I'm really looking forward to that. This guy, all my sanitation guys go above and beyond in everything they do. And I tell you, it's a privilege to be able to stand up here and give you this. Mark, you want to say a little bit, please?
I appreciate it, and thank you, Mayor and Councilman, and all my co-workers, and I will enjoy the day off.
Well, the picture, yes.
Hey, Tommy, I put 2024 on that day off. So.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark, for the job you do.
Congratulations.
All right, moving to number 2 is ordinance 808.
Yes, sir. We have Carly Hansen from the Planning Collaborative here to go over these next couple items.
Okay, good morning, Carly. Carly's comments, let the record show, was part of the public hearing, public discussion.
Good morning, this is ordinance 808 for the rezoning of the 80-acre parcel that's come before you several times before. We annexed the property into the city, and then we most recently changed the future land use. That future land use change will be effective as of April 23rd if the state doesn't have any comments bringing it back. So this step before you today is the rezoning that goes along with that future land use change. It is also changing the zoning from agriculture timberland to the city's public institutional. Other than that, there's no change in the packet that you have in front of you. That's the same documentation that was brought before you for the future land use.
Are there others, anyone here to speak on ordinance 808?
My name is Nancy. I live on La Siesta Drive. Is that what this is about, the property behind me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. It's odd that it's going on almost 5 years now and we're gonna do something about it. My yard floods now every time it rains. I have to worry about trees falling. Finally, the city came out and knocked down the biggest one that might ruin my fence once again. My husband died recently, so I'm alone in this effort. And, you know, I'd like to have some questions answered about what's going to happen back there. When is that going to start? What are you going to do about my wildlife that I take care of since the hurricane? I have turtles, birds, squirrels, whatever. Are you just going to like mow them down? Where's the retention pond going to be located? You know, are there going to be paths right along the fence by my house? I mean, I bought this lot because it was private. You know, are you just going to clear the whole property, or are there still going to be trees? I mean,
There's no plans to clear the property.
okay, well, that was what I was told earlier. Anyway, when you all decide what you're going to do with that, I'd love to know.
Well, it's part of the master plan stormwater drainage system. It's just a piece of that puzzle, but there's no plans to develop, or no plans to clear it.
Right.
It will remain like it is until we can get, you know, add some more pieces to the puzzle to get the stormwater.
Okay, so
There's no
basically,
immediate plans for that to happen. We wish there were, but
Okay.
there's not.
okay. Like I said, I'd just like to be notified because it affects my property value. Thank you.
You definitely will be.
All right, is there anyone else? Any other comments about the ordinance 808 and the 80 acres? All right, what about for Carly? Council, have any questions, or while she's available?
Look, for Carly, I just want to say to Miss Nancy, Miss Nancy, if you have those questions, they can be answered in any of these documents that are posted online. If
Okay,
you just
well,
read through those.
I don't have a computer.
Well, if you need assistance with that, my phone number is around. You can look
Okay.
it up, and
I'll
I'm
have
more than glad to
somebody
walk
look.
you
Thank
through it.
Okay, again, this is the first reading.
Yes, sir.
So is there a motion to read by title only or discussion?
Make a motion to read ordinance 808 by title only.
Second.
Have a motion to second, please read.
Ordinance 808, an ordinance zoning a parcel of property assigned a parcel ID number 4186-000-000 Mexico Beach, Florida, having repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an approximately 80 acres, public, institutional, providing for effective date.
Thank you. And also, just more, it's in the packet and it's available online, but the deed is restricted also. So it's not like we have carte blanche, you know, use of that land. The deed is, it says specifically, anything other than that, it reverts back to the seller. Okay, thank you, Carly. You may as well stay. You're coming up again. All right. Ordinance 809.
Yes, next we have ordinance 809, which is small-scale future land use map amendment. Moving forward, this is how we will go forward with future land use amendments and rezonings. They'll happen concurrently at the city meeting. This property was annexed into the city May 24th, 2022. The city of Mexico Beach is requesting this future land use map amendment and a rezoning change for the 24.7 acre parcel located just behind us at 121 22nd Street North, from the Bay County designation agriculture timberland to the city's public institutional future land use category. Similar to the last item, this property is deed restricted to be used as a municipal complex, government buildings, and an emergency operations center communication tower. P&Z voted unanimously to recommend approval of the amendment and the rezoning. Just to clarify, this item right here is just for the future land use map amendment. Next, we'll look at the rezoning.
All right. Is there any discussion from our citizens about ordinance 809? No? All right, we'll move to the table then, and is there a motion or discussion or comments on ordinance 809?
Motion to read ordinance 809 by title only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please read.
Ordinance 809, an ordinance amending the comprehensive plan future land use map of the city to reflect the land use designation of public institutional for a parcel of property assigned a parcel ID number 04127-010-000, Mexico Beach, Florida, having approximately 24.70 acres, providing for a repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Next is ordinance 810. Carly, you're still up.
Ordinance 810 is for the rezoning of the same parcel as the last item. In your packet, you have the future land use and zoning analysis. This item is specifically for the rezoning from Bay County agriculture timberland to the city's public institutional. It is still deed restricted. And P&Z also voted unanimously to approve this item.
Okay, is there anyone here have a comment or question about ordinance 810? No? Okay. Again, to the table, discussion or motion to read by title only.
Make a motion to read ordinance 810 by title only.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please read.
Ordinance 810, an ordinance zoning a parcel of property assigned a parcel ID number 04127-010-000, Mexico Beach, Florida, having approximately 24.70 acres, public institutional, providing for a repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. Thank you. Number 5.
Good morning, sir. The next item on the agenda is a boat captain parking lot permit policy, as well as the parking lot improvements. Harbor Chief Sandy Walker is here to kind of go through these items in the policy. I don't get to say that very often, Harbor Chief. So these items are all up for discussion. You had asked us recently at a previous meeting to bring back some ways to market our marina and our slips, and we think we've got some ideas going forward here for you.
Morning, Council.
Good morning.
So as the City Administrator said, these are just some ideas to try and improve the product of the Mexico Beach Marina that we offer to our boaters and our charter captains. And I had a get together with some of the charter captains and to see what might help them in the everyday use of their boat slip and their businesses. And one of the ideas was that there's not enough parking down there, which we are obviously all well aware of. We came up with an idea that the triangle where the chair used to be, I believe, before the storm, just there to the west of Canal Parkway as you enter it, we could turn that into a captain's parking, is what we've sort of called it as such. The idea would be that if you were renting a slip for 6 or more consecutive months, that you would be given with your rental of your slip a parking permit for one vehicle that will allow you to park that vehicle there whilst you're using the boat slip. The idea is that this will obviously enable the captain to always have parking for his truck at any time, and/or his designated first mate who might be taking his people out. So it's just to make their lives a little bit easier. That area would give us somewhere in the region of 15 to 16 parking spaces, and obviously would be policed by the harbour master and Bay County Sheriff's Office. There would be the idea would be a window or a hanging tag, so it could be transferred from truck to truck should somebody else need to be there, but one parking space per person staying for 6 months or longer. Because we do only have, at the moment, we only have 29 parking spaces in total available at the moment. We have Tommy and his crew have just started with the new piece down in the corner of Canal Parkway, but at the moment we are very, very slim on parking spaces, and as we start to get busier, it's going to get more and more difficult for people to park. Also, we have a few more rental houses that have come back online. They tend to overflow into those parking spots, so it just makes it more and more difficult for parking. So the idea here is that they have their own designated spot, and they can be guaranteed to be able to park their trucks every day they come to work. And that is, if you go to, I believe, the second picture, I believe it is. No, that's sorry. It's the picture at the back. Well, basically, of my package, it will show you basically, you come in off of 98 onto Canal Parkway. That purple line is the entrance to it. So here we are with the purple line with the entrance to it. They will be parking here, along here, and here. We're still working out whether we're doing it at an angle or whether it will be straight in. That was something we were discussing yesterday as the best way to lay it out. But it's about 15 parking spaces. So that is one of the ideas we have. Do you want me to go through them all and then we can come back and just decide where you want to go?
Let's just do the whole thing.
The other idea then is what we call a loading zone. So if you go to the first picture there, so we come back to here. Basically, as you see here, we have the entrance down to the marina staircase here and staircase here. Would be to turn these two parking spaces into loading zones. So a little bit like you might do in a shopping area in a town. They are there for people to use during the busy period of loading and unloading, and then allowed for use by anybody outside of those times. And the times that we had thought about initially were, where is it gone? I should put these in order. Sorry, excuse me for that. The signage.
We had 4 a.m. to 8 a.m.
4 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then 3 to 6. We had a discussion on that. That's movable. That is something that anybody can decide on how exactly you want to do it. But the idea would be that with no overnight parking allowed, that would enable those two parking spaces to be open, a captain to come down, or somebody using the boat slip to come down, or boat slip to come down, load their boat, move their truck to a designated parking area, leaving that for the next person to come down and use it. Especially this one here. These two houses here have a horrible habit of overflowing and filling up these 3 spots right here. So they're not even usable by those using the marina a lot of the time during the busy time. And they've even now made their area smaller by building 2 decks at the front of their property, only allowing now for 2 parking spaces where they had 3 or 4 before. So it's going to be, in theory, worse again this year. So we're trying to make sure that there is facilities available for those people using the marina. And then the last one, which is a little bit closer to my everyday job, which is as fire chief. What we wanted to do, we have a ski-doo that's parked outside here. It's on a trailer. It takes 2 people to take it from here to the boat ramp to launch it, for somebody to go out and start a water rescue. It's too much time. I put in for a grant for a floating dock. I've already got 50% of that grant. I'm waiting for the other 50%, so that in theory will be no cost to the city. I'm asking for permission, should I get all the monies and funds together, to place that floating dock beside slip number 1. So it's not being used as a slip at the moment. You cannot moor a boat there. There is actually power from that tower which is not being used that we can use to have a trickle charger on it and so on and so forth. To designate one of the possible parking spaces if we were to turn this into a parking spot for use by the fire department only, so that if we do get a water emergency, one of my guys can go straight there, park his truck, because it's in theory an open parking space, go down, launch the ski-doo and be out into the water in a matter of minutes, rather than the 10 minutes it will take now. So that is one of the other ideas we have for this parking space here, is close to this area here, where we can keep the ski-doo somewhat out of sight, out of mind, so that people won't mess with it, and it's ready for us to use on a daily basis, should we need it. Okay. So, just to recap, we have the possibility of using this as a captain's parking. As I say, 6 consecutive months or more with a hang-down placard to delineate the fact that you should be there. We have the loading zones at the top of the 2 staircases, and Public Works at the moment are in the process of finishing off what used to be the toilet area, fish cleaning area down there by MX1. We think it's going to give us maybe 20, 25 parking spaces to add to what we already have, which is going to help a lot. But obviously as more and more houses come online down there, we're going to need more and more parking down there. So these are just ideas, and to put to yourselves, and if anybody else obviously has any input.
Okay. Thank you, Sandy.
The last thing to add was a request to use some funding from the Canal Fund to construct that parking lot in the neighborhood of approximately not to exceed $3,000. That would for the parking area, for the ground cover, as well as some ropes and poles to make it look similar to the other ones that we've been doing around town. So funding from this comes in from the payment of boats and slips. We'd like to use that to put back into the canal as you guys have done in the past.
Okay. Comments on what you've heard or seen? Yeah.
I have a suggestion that might be helpful to integrate all of the new parking, plus any additional parking the city has in perpetuity, is Park Mobile app. Many cities use it. You can just basically pull up to a sign, and on your cell phone, you can pay to park in that specific parking stall, which would eliminate overflow from renters, as well as allow you to add as many parking spaces throughout the city, all making them payable at that time, by a day, by an hour, whatever the city chooses. It's very easy for anybody to use. Park Mobile app. And almost all of the cities that I've traveled through Florida, specifically coastal cities, use the app.
Thank you. Yeah.
Chief, you got some great ideas. I want to say that Rock Creek, Colorado Drive. As a retired Coast Guard veteran, I can say the jet ski thing down there is a smart idea. That should be done, I mean, without even thinking about it. Minutes mean life and death, and that's a fact. Right now, to try to get down there, I've seen kids swimming in that canal. You know that you put the life jacket, the hoops out there last year, the floats. And that's a no-brainer. That should be done, because just minutes is going to save a life right there. To deal with parking, I no longer have a giant boat like I used to have, but if you don't have a place to park and you're paying money for that slip, that's ridiculous trying to load up. Get coolers down there, fishing gear, and everything else. You have to do that. I mean, people are paying money for that, and they should have that. And like I said, that idea and the jet ski thing is a no-brainer. Thank you.
Yes.
I have to come up there, can I talk right here?
You can stand right there.
Okay, I don't remember his name, but what he was saying about the parking pay, that's a great idea. But could we do it maybe to where if you do have a slip for 6 months, that you have a code, so they're not having to pay additionally for parking, would be an idea on that. I agree with Sandy and Rock, but I would like to see that jet ski instead of right there at where the bend is. That way it's closer, the canal's wider right there, and there's a camera there at all times that's monitoring it, that's on that weather. So if something were to happen to it, you could just go back and look at that footage to see who bothered it.
Now, unfortunately, it's not that easy to get back on the camera because that camera doesn't belong to us, it belongs to the weather people.
Okay.
And so we don't have access to get in there and manipulate it and focus in on it. So it's not a bad idea, but it's not as good as it may look. You know, in a lot of cases you can get into those cameras, but in this case it's not ours to manipulate that way.
Gotcha.
And then the only other reason we put it there was there's a lot less foot traffic down there than there is in the corner.
Right.
With the idea that less people are going to see it, therefore in theory less people are going to play with it.
Right.
But it'll be locked and covered and so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah. So can they, is there gonna be parking back down there where the old bathroom used to be?
That's
what we're talking about.
Okay.
There's about 20, we estimated, what, 25, maybe? 25 spaces there.
Okay.
All right, any other comments? All right, thank you, Sandy. Council, questions?
I'd just like to say, Sandy, you put a lot of good thinking on this, and thank you.
No, it's part of what you asked us to do when we wanted to change things up, and we're just these ideas to bring to you to let you mull over and, you know, see where we go from there. But, you know, we are busy. We have other marinas that have opened up now. People are sort of saying, well, I can get this down there, I can get that down there, and if we don't keep moving with the times, we're going to end up getting behind the times. And then it's much more difficult to take catch up than it is to catch up.
How many boat captains do we have now?
Funny enough, I was just double checking on that today. 1 or 2 of them have been, took their boats out to get them clean and so on and so forth, to find out how many of them are actually coming back. At the moment, there are 6 boats down there that have a permanent 12-month lease. 1 or 2 of them haven't renewed yet, and we're following up on that today because their time is coming up. So I don't know the exact number, but there's 6 at the moment.
We do hope that this will be more enticing to folks to stay longer. Maybe the folks that rent for 2 or 3 months in the summer say, oh, I can get my own spot. Let me just wait and pay for 6 months. We think it's a step forward in increasing the number of boats that are in our slips. So.
It just gives us another marketing point.
And again, it is an administrative policy, so we could alter it should we need to. If something comes up crazy about it that we need to change, we could bring it back as well.
Or if it doesn't work, we can turn it into public parking.
Yeah, I think Sandy, my opinion on that, kind of going backwards on 3, the jet ski just needs to be worked out. You're a professional, you know what needs to be done. You just told us, and as a city, I believe you're right. We need to have a boat in the water or something in the water.
It's a great piece of equipment to have, but it's not being utilized to its full ability at the moment.
Right. So we need to get it in the water, so we need to figure out a way to do it, and I agree with that. The second one, I like the loading zone. You have to have a loading zone. We all know that. That's why there's docks and everything else, so you can load up.
The idea is really trying to keep those free at night, that people don't just use them as parking for their rental property, so they are there to be used first thing in the morning for people when they do turn up.
Correct.
It's another idea just to try and free up some parking, have that facility available for those that need it, rather than those that just want to abuse it.
Agreed. The other one that I just, maybe just add some things to it, Captain's parking lot. There's a small cost, I think you said $3,000 to get that done or whatever. I don't know if we grandfather the 6 that are in there, but is it possible that, you know, if the price per month is, or yearly or 6 months, whatever the price is add a parking fee on that so they have that option to go in there?
You could do. Yeah. It's $150 a foot. So you multiply, your 30-foot boat by $150, and that gives you your yearly rental fee for the slip. So it does vary depending on the size of people's boats.
Yeah, my personal opinion, if I had a boat there and I had a slip and I was going to leave it there, I'd pay an extra $100 to park in that parking lot space. I knew it was gonna be there for me all the time.
I like the park, I think we should develop the parking lot. I mean, I think that ought to be, I like the jet ski deal, I like the loading zone. But I think we ought to just, instead of just start out reserving it, I think we should just see what happens. I don't think we should just block it off right off day one. I think we ought to use it as an enticement.
Yep.
And I'm like Rich, I think, I don't know that the slip fee, I mean, I think there should be some.
So you think like a nominal charge, maybe it's $100 for however long it would be, separate from the,
Let's make it as
from
an
the
option.
warranty?
And I like the pay, I don't know yet about the, I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, I just made a note to myself.
A mobile app, yeah, pay mobile app. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not a traveler, so in Mexico Beach, we don't have those. But we might want to look at that. There might be some merit to that.
Yeah, I think, and obviously this is, here it's an hour conversation and we investigate it later, but with that said, I think I caught you saying that any parking space, like this parking space we're developing over here behind Parker, that would be on the list as a parking place. The parking at the marina would be on that list. So you can park anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, even beachside parking, if you chose to go that way, and you wanted to, you know, where people pull off on 98, if you wanted to make each one of those a parking space, many beach cities do that.
It's just
$3.
not one
That's
parking.
$3 to park at the beach for the day.
I like
Everybody's
that.
gonna pay $3 to park there and walk straight down to the beach.
It identifies all the parking areas in Mexico Beach.
Yeah, and it also has other properties to it that you might not think about first, such as if somebody's vehicle is broken into, we know what day and time each vehicle is parked there. It has a lot of other attributes to it that might not even seem relevant right up front.
That's great.
We'll definitely look into that app. I don't believe it is something that works on like the right-of-ways, the DOT right-of-ways, but for municipal parking lots, I think it's a great option.
Yeah, we might have to look at that, just to see. Yes, sir.
No, just
Does that mean that nobody can visit Mexico Beach unless they have a smartphone with that app loaded in it?
No, it just means designated parking spaces. Like most cities, you have to pay to park in. There is also, cities usually have free parking as well in places.
And they have
No.
machines too. You either download the app on your phone or it's just like the machine is down at the boat ramp.
Yeah, well, the question is does that mean that you cannot use those things unless you have a smartphone with the app?
No.
I don't know yet. Well, we're gonna look into it.
We don't know.
All right.
We're just.
I would not like that. Because I just went to the airport in Jacksonville and I could not order a hamburger and a beer without a QR reader. And maybe I'm old.
There you go.
He's right.
I understand.
You're
All
right.
right, let's sort of bring this back to, is it safe to say we all agree that the jet ski and the docking facility for that is just something that ought to be handled? For that question.
Yes.
The loading zones we're okay with, any option, I mean, in the parking, once you look at these other options, develop the parking lot. Get whatever.
And hold off on the permit side of things for now.
Well, let's look at, let's talk some more about how we're gonna do it, but let's develop it. Looks like, is that part of, you have funds to do that?
Yeah, we're asking to use up to $3,000 of this.
That's included in the parking lot?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think it's important we keep that one reserved spot for fire.
We put a sign up.
Oh,
just like we
yeah,
did the
yeah.
sheriff's office.
Okay,
Yes,
just
well,
want to make
that's
sure we're
right.
keeping that one reserved one.
Yeah,
There was a picture in there with the proposed
Yeah.
sign that would say fire department design.
Yeah, I think that's.
And we're very close on the
And
grant.
also, have to keep in mind, that's in the center of where our welcome center is.
So agreed, yeah. But that was
We have to watch that parking lot. It can't just all of a sudden become, public parking. I mean,
So that was part of the things,
We have to-
the welcome center parking.
we can't just squeeze them out.
No.
That was, like I said, he was just saying, you know, the overflow was going into Welcome Center parking lot, and they weren't having any spots left over, so this would help kind of drive traffic in other places. So Tommy's team is very close down on the corner there for those additional spots, so that's going to help. Remember, we added over 20 spots down at the far end of Canal Parkway, and then there's further discussions related to Salt Creek Phase 2, where they would have an additional parking and access to the beach up there as well, coming your way. So, just so you know.
Okay, we good? Any other comments about what we're talking about here in this? Okay. Thank you, Sandy. Move on.
Do you approve?
Consensus or?
Well, the $3,000 is part of the, I mean, that's not, you don't have to
Do they
approve
need,
that.
do they need
Yeah, I think you would.
I think you need to-
You need to approve him to use that for this particular.
because it's a designated fund.
Oh, that's right, you're taking it out of the canal.
I'll make a motion to approve $3,000 from the canal fund for boat canal parking.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Wiley?
Yes.
Okay, number 6. Who's, Tommy's name on this?
Number 6, so the next item on the agenda is related to our current dredge operations that we do. We're requesting an emergency purchase. I've got Tommy Davis as well as Troy here to talk about the urgent need for the motor replacement for our dredge. So Tommy, you and Troy can come up and answer some questions related to the quote we received.
Good morning, council.
Good morning, guys.
Here before you today to ask for $40,000, and what this is for, our current dredge. I know we got a new one coming, but it's gonna be around December. The current dredge that we have now, is on its last leg. Troy and Nick has babied this thing along now for several years, and just to give you a history, normally the dredge motor, we change out about every 4 years. It's been 14 years since the motor's been put in that dredge. So that'll kind of give you an idea how far along, and we've done all the maintenance, we've done all the upkeep, but it's just wore out. We were hoping to get the dredge before December of technically 2024, but we're not gonna make it. So what we're asking for is $40,000, not to exceed that. Right now, we've located a motor. Picking it up, having it brought down, having it installed is only gonna be around $35,000. And once this is, we get the new dredge in, we'll keep the old dredge for a little while, make sure the new dredge is gonna be fine. And then there's a possibility of selling the motor to someone else, taking it out of that. So that's what we're asking for. Troy, I brought Troy up here. He's more technically inclined to answer any questions you might have about the dredge now. So if you have any questions about that, please ask, and we'll try to answer those for you.
You confused me on the numbers. The motor is 40?
No, Mayor, the motor is 29, if you look on the.
I'm looking at that, I'm just
Yeah.
going by what,
Yeah, it's $28,500.
I see that.
Right.
Okay.
And there's a additional price of $1,800, that's to install the components and,
Okay, you said 35,000.
Right,
I'm just-
total price, including the core, takes in the core, so we have to send the core back, was $35,800.
Okay.
Yeah, we just asked for 40 just to be on the safe side.
I'm with you.
Probably won't need that.
That's the way it's written, but I'll just double check.
One thing to add, we expect to get the core cost back, the $5,500 back, because it's running right now. If it blows between now and installation of the new motor, we stand not to get that $5,500 back. So I didn't want to come back to ask for additional funding, so we just not to exceed.
Is there any idea, once we get the new one in, what the resale value will be on the old motor?
Troy, you want to answer that one?
Well, no more time than we'll probably put on it, you know, from putting it in until ours gets here. I would say anywhere from 20 to 25,000.
Oh, well, first off, Troy, you done great.
Thank you.
Keeping the one up, absolutely.
Is this to buy, to install, or to buy to put on the shelf?
Oh, no, we're gonna use this immediately.
We're gonna put
Oh,
it
it's
in.
going
We're gonna
in
put it in
dredge
immediately.
Right.
They don't think the one that we have now is even gonna last longer, and we stand, if we blow it up, we stand to lose 5,500. So the cost of getting it installed and shipped here and put in the boat with the crane time and all that is more feasible to do it all at the same time.
So this ask is to change the motor.
Yes, sir. ASAP.
Just so you know, I was listening. You said they wear out every 4 years. So it's been how long? 10 years?
About 14.
We thought 10 and we could verify it, and they said, Bill, I think you talked to.
It's been smoking for quite a while, but, you know, we don't run it hard. We just do what we gotta do with it, trying to get by. You know, since Michael, you know, we didn't have a lot of money to do anything with, and, he paid me the loan.
Yeah. This is for you, Tommy. If it should be budgeted, you need to get it in the budget so we can see it. If it's been 14 years, that's too, we waited, now it's being taken out of unbudgeted money. So I would suggest that if we need something in 4 years, we see it on the budget.
And we can do that from going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have money in the canal fund that's specifically for an emergency similar to this. But we can do that as far as, putting it in there for it.
Yeah, that's a line.
Very similar to what we did with the trash truck last year. You guys were part of that budget.
Correct.
Starting to pay for it in advance so that we save it and we don't hit this all at once. So yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what we drive to all of our supervisors or leaders of the departments for their budgets.
Yes, sir.
And we did discuss the budget. Problem was that we were hoping we could get the new dredge, we wouldn't have to deal with this. So
That's right.
we did budget for a new dredge. We didn't budget for an extra motor. But, okay, question?
Got to have it. We got it.
I hate it.
And it's the default motor, it's an oil slinging thing.
It makes me angry. I want 6 more months.
I know, I wish we could, but I don't think we can take that chance of letting it break down and then we'll be out of order and go ahead and get it and then get through snap state.
I just got off the phone with him before the meeting, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, even with the west side dredge, that is complete. We did get the west side dredge, Troy done
Yeah.
a couple of weeks back. But, you guys know it just takes one front come in through the weekend or the wind to blow the wrong way and it can sand it over. And we got a lot of buildup down there now. They're gonna dredge today and tomorrow to clear up the end of the canal on the east side. So, I'm like Troy, I don't see any way we make it to December.
Yeah, I'm the last guy that want to be voting that know that it would be not working. You know, so it needs to work. I agree 100%. Is there a plan though for the old dredge? Is there any resale on that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the steel will have some money, but I don't, some smaller places do want something like that. The motor, supposedly the motor, people are really sought after for that type of motor, for that 2-stroke. It's for tugboats and things of that nature, but, we didn't
The
get,
only resale would be if Troy went with it.
yeah. The spuds are all broken, I'm telling you, it's
They can't afford that.
They can't afford that, so. Okay,
So again, this is canal designated fund, so we would need a vote for you guys to
Yeah.
allow us to utilize that.
is there any questions? Yes, sir.
Rock Creek, Colorado Drive. I realize you have to do this to keep the canal open. The question I have for everybody sitting up here, and I brought this up several times a year since I've been here, why are you not charging a damn user fee for the boat ramp? I have no problem paying $100 to get a sticker for a year, and you should be charging $300-400 for somebody who doesn't even live here for a sticker. This would help do this for your canal and everything else. You're dredging that canal. I don't know anybody who's dredging a canal besides you guys, and
We're probably the only one, Rock.
I know.
That's right. We've been doing it a long time.
Why not try to pay for it as a user fee? I mean, I'm a boater. People are boating. They're using the canal. They're using the boat ramp. Your boat ramp. Here we go. I know. Ignore me again. See ya.
Come on. You know, the canal, it has economic value to this city.
So does the beach.
I know, I said, the beach isn't ours. The canal is ours. And it's been here for a long time. And it's an economic driver. So, there was a time that we were going to require boats to buy a sticker. But you can't do that on those vessels. They won't allow that, FWC doesn't allow that. So when you say a user fee, I'm not really sure what you refer to, but my point being, just for discussion about the canal, it comes up every so often. The people that use the canal pay for it in many other ways. Okay.
Just to add, I realize the people who live on a canal, they're paying for it in their taxes. I launch a boat. You got a sticker I gave you to put on my vehicle. $100 a year for that sticker. It goes towards the canal maintenance, your boat ramp maintenance, and everything else as a fee to use. I don't know anybody's got free. I mean, I came from the Clearwater area. If you lived there, it was $300 a year. If you didn't, it was $600.
You're saying, I just want to follow you here.
You're saying
your
car,
and I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to process. You want more money. You think the fee should be more? Is that what you're saying?
It's free right now. I live here. I'm not paying a penny to launch my boat.
Oh, that's right.
And I brought that up before the year because you're issuing stickers.
The residents.
to charge
You're right.
something.
You're right.
And you really need to look at that because this is a big expense you're spending for this dredge continuously to maintain that canal. And right now, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people coming in here with more boats, using a boat ramp. You charge a fee, you're gonna get some money to maintain the parking lot, the ramps, the canal, your dredge and everything else.
I got you. This ought to be more. Okay. All right, is there a motion?
I have one question.
Yeah.
What is the balance of the canal fund?
Just under 500,000, about 454,000.
And what's the balance of the boat ramp fund? Do you know that?
I'm sorry, it's 300,000.
Okay. That's just curious. All right.
So that's a tad under 300.
Yeah, I think so.
So between the two, about 800. Okay.
This is probably the only thing that makes money here.
Okay. Is there discussion or motion?
I will begrudgingly make a motion to approve the dredge engine purchase not to exceed $40,000 from Canal Fund.
I would stick in the word emergency.
Emergency purchase?
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further comments? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Welling?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, guys. So is there a record on how many years a motor can run?
Well, I guess it just depends on what it's doing in its load, you know.
But in that environment, that
Yeah.
might be a record.
When we
Guinness
were,
World Record.
when we were pumping past the pier, you know, we
Yeah.
had to run that thing wide open to get it there. So that took a big toll on it back then, so.
I got you.
We're lucky it's made it as far as it has.
I agree. Okay, we're moving on to number 7.
Yes, sir. The next item on the list is a request for a commercial rebuild. Michael Land is here to present for 20th Street commercial property.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning,
Council.
Michael.
Mike Manning, Development Service Director, Assistant City Administrator. The item before you is an informational one regarding the commercial rebuild at 20th Street. The applicant, Mr. Foley, is here today, seeking to begin the commercial rebuild process at the site where his storage facility was located prior to Hurricane Michael. You can see the location on the site map included in your agenda packet and displayed here on the screen. It is the property that is right next to this building and the Public Works yard next to us. Mr. Foley plans to reopen a storage facility in the near future, and the property will be required to have the necessary setbacks and buffers and all those fun items. With that, happy to answer any questions or concerns.
Okay.
This was already the storage area before Michael.
Correct.
So, this one will have to rezone.
The one thing to note is ordinance 781 was put into process for positions just like this to allow folks to rebuild what they had prior to the storm. We just want to make sure we brought it to your attention. It is an interesting situation for that storage facility over the years. He does have the right to operate a commercial facility indefinitely on that property, and I've attached that letter into your file.
To what extent are we, Michael, is this gonna be permitted to build on, or is it gonna be just open lots? Is it gonna be overheads? What's it gonna be?
Sure, so at the moment, it's just the request to do the commercial rebuild. We have a development order application for some site fill and items like that. Mr. Floyd, if you want to maybe speak to the plan a little bit? Certainly. More versed than I.
Dennis Foley, I'm your neighbor at 100 Paradise Path. At this stage, and I'm going to call it phase one, I'm trying to raise the grade elevation so the fall of water, the way it is right now, it's too rapid, and it's cutting into the land grade. So I've already started the process where hopefully I can bring in fill material and not level it out, but give it a proper fall. Call it phase one, just to recover from the last 4 years of not being in service. I intend to just start out with open boat storage, trailers, and such. As time goes on, once we start to recover funds, I may go to the extent of putting the pole barn concept buildings up, which would further enhance the property. So that's where I'm at right now, is just trying to recover from the last 4 years. Coincidentally, I retired the same year that Hurricane Michael hit here, and I haven't had a day off since. So this will keep me going.
There you go.
He had approximately 24,000 square foot of storage that he operated there for the mini storage. He could not exceed that based on our calculations related to the rebuild. He can only build back to the density that he had prior to the storm, if that covers your comments.
I just wanted to know what was gonna be there, and it's obvious gonna be a open, flat area with trailers and boats.
Correct.
All right, any other comments on number 7? Discussion?
Hey, I'm Julie,
Yeah.
11 20th Street. I'm good with Mr. Dennis sitting back, whatever, over there. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's only fair that he gets to put back something on his lot that he had before the hurricane or something similar. So I think he's perfectly within his right. I'm good with it as a neighbor.
Okay. Council, any other comments? Okay. Again, this is more, we're just being informed. That's all.
Go for it.
All right. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good work.
Just, I do have one comment. From the moment I brought this to the table, the primary word across the table was proactive, and I'll take it from there.
There you go. All right, number 8, project list.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, thank you. You'll see the list as it continues to grow on the spreadsheet that we have posted online, as well as in your packet today. Look at the last column on the right on 4/11/2023 today. The 8th Street bathrooms, we continue to wait for a response from FEMA. We don't know how favorable that's going to be related to those bathrooms due to the high cost, so we are waiting to find out what they're going to say. The other option would be, I'm looking at with Ryan as well, is to possibly rebuild it to see if costs have come down. Please remember that these bids are only good for about 180 days from the time that we get them, and we're nearing the end of that. So we would be looking at possibly rebuilding it. Maybe there's a way that we presented it that we could do it differently on all 3 of those bathrooms, facilities and parks, to get a better bid. So that's the next option for us on those. The 15th Street pedestrian bridge and sidewalks, we finished some Senate appropriation RFIs. This is the first time we've had to answer any questions related to those at the bridge and the fire truck from the Senate. And this was from this got either bumped up to the federal level, is that right? The state level for the Senate for Jay Trumbull, excuse me. So we're worried, we're not worried, we're pressed that they continue to reach out to find out more information related to that. And we return those informations back to them. The boat ramp expansion, we submitted an application through Dewberry. Thank you, David, for you and your team for additional grant funding. As we know, the bids came out approximately $1.1 million for that expansion. And it could be 4 to 6 months or more before we hear about that funding. But the funding that we currently have is secured, and we hope to get the additional funding. It was very favorable when we had that conversations with them. The bypass pumps. So I've talked to you before about possibly rebidding this. We tried to go through direct purchase through the Florida Sheriff's Association or Florida League of Cities for direct purchase on these pumps, and that did not pass the muster for FEMA. FEMA was shaky that it would go because of their procurement system for the state didn't match what they had. So we're looking to put that out for rebidding for local vendors to bid on that. So maybe somebody would buy it off the state contract and sell it to us. I don't know. But we want to put that out for bid to buy those pumps, those bypass pumps that we have the money for. It's approximately $225,000 project. Citywide stormwater repairs. We're near completion of phase 1. I'm told that GCUC's team, Dexter and those folks, should be completed with phase 1 by the end of this month. We've put in a request to FEMA for the request for phase 2 as a capped project to replace the stormwater pipe down the entire length of Florida Avenue. There's probably about a 98% chance from Ryan. He says that we get approved for that because it was in the original scope. However, Mexico Beach, we've always erred on the side of caution and waited until we had the funding. One thing that I'll be bringing back to you at the next meeting is the fact that demobilization is going to start to happen with GCUC. And if they start removing their equipment and their people, we stand a chance of that cost, which they've agreed to $1.2 million for the second phase, of going up because their teams have moved on. So I'll be bringing that back at the next meeting. I'm in negotiations with GCUC about those costs and where we might stand. But that's something that we need to think of. Again, this is a project that we front and we get reimbursement. We would not be eligible for the reimbursement until FEMA approves it. So if we go forward, we're on the hook for it until we get reimbursed. But it should be it's 100%, almost 100% qualified kind of event. So I'll bring more information back to you. The dredge purchase we discussed today. The good news is they bumped it up to November for delivery. We just paid the next $100,000 payment this week for part of the hull and things. They're starting to put it together for us, so it's looking promising. Rudy and his team are keeping us up to date with that. The motors and the pumps and all those items are in, so they're starting to put it together for us. The jetty. The jetty extension, you guys alluded to earlier about helping us with our dredging. The task order was approved on March 28th by the council meeting for the environmental assessment, so we began to move forward with MRD on that project for the environmental assessment, which is one of our last items to check on the box for FEMA. The marina boat slips covered with lifts. Excuse me. I do not have any update at this time. We're kind of moving forward with a lot of things that are going on in the marina and the boat ramp that I'll talk about here in a few minutes, but I don't have any update on this item at this time. Parker Park. It's the same thing as what we received from the 8th Street, so we're waiting to hear back from FEMA. However, I am starting to move forward on the playground and its setting where we discussed at a previous meeting of the layout of how the park was going to be. We need to use the funding from Bay County for this park that they gave us $75,000, so we're starting the process to get that installed. So it'll be in the spot that has been identified for you guys, so you should see that soon. Parker Park Waterway, we talked about at the Sweetwater meeting recently. They're still working towards their permits on this property for the filling in of this front part of the canal. The pier. Dave Hemphill with BDI has updated the plans to send back to the CRC. BDI plans are now under review by ACDC. She's putting this into a version where it reads easily for the CRC to see what the engineers have drawn out. And that plan should be submitted any second now. They were finalizing those this week. The CCCL permit application has been submitted to the state lands and is under review. We've had a couple conversations back and forth with those folks recently, and they seem to be finally getting that aha moment of where we moved the pier out to, further down and the ADA compliant track to get up to it. So they're understanding why we're doing it and how we're doing it. So that was a good move this past week. The Fire, Police, and Municipal Complex. DAG has issued the approved the March 28th council meeting. You guys gave us a change order of about $3,000. They're doing the paperwork behind the scenes on that to turn back into the CRC, and that work is in progress. The surge gate for the canal, we're on page 3 here. There's no update on this item as it's been tied to the regional stormwater project. part of the project we talked about the 80 acres today, and the 8th Street Canal and the funding of all those together. Again, that is out for bid for RFQ. It's on the city's website related to the 80 acre project. So if anybody wants to see that, they can see that what's out for bid there for the design. Under the Palms Park, we had a great event there this past weekend. The Easter egg hunt was amazing. Thanks to the city and the council for letting us host that again this year. It was well received. Related to the park, we submitted a cost amendment to FEMA. As you know, for the high costs, we're waiting on their response. The last thing is we could possibly rebid it just like the other ones, but we are moving forward with the FERDAP grant. We received $50,000 from FERDAP to work with the exercise stations. Tommy and his team has identified where the pads would go. We're working on resurfacing of the track. And it also comes with a gazebo that we've sourced out that would go in the middle there that could have some seating facilities for those folks. So we're preparing a package to bring back to the council for that review. Regional stormwater. Talked about that RFQ that's out. It's due back in mid-May. That's on the 80 acres. Nanook and 14th Street Lift Station. 14th Street Lift Station design was reviewed by the city and plans are being finalized through Dewberry. The Nanook Lift Station here behind us is supposed to get back to us for review by the middle of this month or later this week, I guess it is, to review that one. So I should have more information to bring back to you related to costs on those two items after that. Lastly, I'd like to add an item to this project list. It's going to be the boat ramp repairs. I've been keeping each of you up to date on this. Recently, we had a undermining event at where the new boat ramp would go in eventually at our boat ramp. It had a hole under the water level that has caused undermining, and the dirt comes out of one of the holes in the vinyl side pieces, the seawall. It allowed the concrete to be compromised. So Tommy's staff, thank you to those guys, removed all the concrete, patched the hole, filled it in, and had new concrete poured this past Friday. So it almost looks like it didn't happen. We probably have several more of those, 5, 6, 7 more of those holes that you can see above the ground, above the water level, excuse me. We're looking into ways to repair those sooner than later. For those, we've talked to somebody about sourcing some of those seawall, vinyl seawall pieces for patches on those. There's also an option that we can look at to raise up the concrete with the foam on some of the ones that are not completely destroyed. But we need to repair the infrastructure for that, and I'm going to be bringing back some cost to that related for this to you guys soon. We've been identifying which ones to be prepared first, in which order. For example, it cost Tommy's guys about a full day with 3 or 4 guys, and then $1,200 worth of concrete to fix the one that we fixed already. If there's 5 or 6 more, or maybe more than that, then we need to make sure that we bring that to you guys because it's not in our existing budget. So that will be an item that will show up on your project list, and I'll continue to keep you guys involved in that one. But that one is becoming more urgent. That's all I have on my project list. I can answer any questions for those you'd like.
Questions? Any questions on any of the projects? All right, you're still up.
I appreciate the opportunity, the thought process about that Park Mobile app. I'm definitely going to be looking into those. Again, thank you to the staff, the Sheriff's Office, Mexico Beach Suites, everybody that was a part of the Easter egg extravaganza this past Saturday. We skirted the weather somehow, and 6,000 eggs were found by everybody, and it was just a great day with the Easter Bunny, and it just showed our community how strong we are together, and children from everywhere. It was just a...
Where are all the kids?
I don't know. They're multiplying. The rabbits, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot, sir. There was a lot. I saw you carrying around a grandbaby in the cakewalk. I think that was a good one. It was just a great day. It was just a great day. We hope to do many more, and the community events we planned this year and coordination, so they continue to come our way. Other than that, I don't have any changes or anything else to add. Denny and his cupcakes are great.
Clint, what about you?
Nothing specific unless you guys have questions for me.
Not that I know. Council, Avery, anything?
Well, I guess I do, but bear with me as I'm going to be a little irritated in my comments, and hopefully I can get a clear thought. I was out of town this weekend with my family for Easter. It was wonderful. But I was angry, disappointed, and embarrassed. My mother, my father, my sister, they all informed me they've left all of our local Facebook pages because they're sick and tired of seeing the drama related to this election. We have 7 days left, and I've had enough of it. My mom goes, there's people creating fake accounts. And I'm thinking, you live in Minnesota. How do you know this? Then we got phone calls Thursday, Friday, yesterday from supporters on all sides with sign drama. The drama revolving around signs. Mine's taken, theirs taken, this isn't taken, his is taken. Everybody's has been taken. I've looked at the repo pile. Every one of these candidates has a sign taken. Stop the nonsense. 7 days to go. And I wasn't going to say anything today. But then we have a speech about discrimination this morning. Is it true? Maybe. But when you give a speech about discrimination and you say to me, the Spanish guys, when referring to contractors, it pisses me off. That's all.
What else? You got anything?
I'm scared to say something about this. I'll be your good day. Thank you, April. Thank you.
I don't know.
Rich, you got anything?
Moby maps, anything on that?
Yes, sir. We received back a quote. We're going to, going through the quotes back from them. We've met with Joy Hutchinson and those folks to go over the dollar figures that they have. It's very affordable for the one that we're looking at the distance. I hope to have something, a presentation back to you. We just received that yesterday, the actual quote. And it is a sole source, and we can buy directly from them. The comment is, should I get the people that raised the money to buy those and donate them to the city? Or I'm looking at that insurance-wise on ownership of those things. So,
Good update. Is that all you got? Bob?
I'm good.
The last comment I'm going to make on my spiel is, people are watching. We're a tourist town. What we say is portrayed as an image. And I'm over it.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.